Hello everybody and welcome back to Let's Play Call of Cthulhu. Let's actually go and talk to these people this time around.
You're right, Mr. Pierce. How do you feel?
A lot better than before.
Did I sleep long?
The day is only starting. It's fine.
Is it like the next day over or did I sleep a week?
How's our fugitive? Dr. Fuller hasn't reported your disappearance to the force, but that'll come soon.
Bradley?
Who else would it be?
Mr. Pierce, are you all right? You look like you saw a ghost.
There are things I can't explain.
Tell us. What happened?
Okay, I do not have enough occultism. Talk to Bradley first. Oh, I'm lacking so many skill points.
What I'm sure of now is that the Hawkins case isn't just an accident.
And what brings you to that conclusion?
The fact that Charles Hawkins survived the fire.
I don't understand. Mr. Hawkins was buried.
That's what he would have you believe.
I have a hard time believing you.
You were there, Bradley. You even opened fire on him.
I'd remember that.
Why would he fake his own death? Do you think he covered up his wife's murder?
That's possible.
It seems hard to swallow. Don't you have anything more concrete, Pierce?
I feel like either I went nuts, he went nuts, he isn't the right Bradley, or I hallucinated the whole thing? This is a bit of a confusing situation to talk about an investigation that you do not remember.
Bradley, what do you remember?
I don't understand your question.
The night we went into the Hawkins mansion. You don't seem to remember the tunnels and what occurred there.
No memory of going down any tunnel. No, we were in the manor, then,
Then what?
The rest is quite blurry. I don't recall how I came back home.
And then?
I went to visit you at the hospital and called on Marie's help to get you released.
And you don't remember the events of the tunnel?
I don't. Let's talk about something else.
Well, at least he admits that his memory is failing him, so that's something. So I look slightly less crazy.
You two know each other pretty well.
It's a tiny island. Everyone knows everyone. Especially since I'm a police officer and Marie's a doctor.
The chemistry is obvious.
I do seem a little bit stupid, don't I? Anyway, let's get back to the business at hand.
Okay, let's talk with Colden. What do you think of this
Found
prescription?
this at the Hawkins house. The doses seem insane.
Barbiturates. But these doses...
What do you mean?
Half the island is under treatment. What is prescribed here, however, is enough to knock out an ox.
Fuller wrote this prescription to fool everyone into believing she was mad.
Or perhaps her husband wrote it.
Perhaps Charles and Dr. Fuller were in league.
A conspiracy. How dreadful.
And I found documents that show the fact that she has been committed to the mental institute as well.
Found a file bearing Sarah Hawkins' name in the institute's basement.
It makes sense. A powerful family like the Hawkins had the means to hide such a disgrace.
But everyone knows the Fullers have been taking care of the Hawkins for at least a generation. And all were aware of Mrs. Hawkins' fragility.
Perhaps, but no one would allow a psychiatric internment.
From what I read in the file, Fuller used her as a subject of his experiments.
Frances Sanders and Sarah Hawkins, subjects of Dr. Fuller. Why those two?
At least I get to appear like I'm not completely crazy because I brought some paper with me. So it's like, see, not everything that I'm telling is just out of my own crazy head.
Given the energy he pours into Riverside, I presume it was Fuller's creation.
His father's, to be correct. He was a surgeon on board the Scylla. He founded the hospital in 1904 with funds from the Hawkins family before he died and his son Thomas Fuller took over.
Two families inextricably linked.
Most island families are that way. Captain Fitzroy's father was also a seaman aboard the Scylla.
Powerful families dominating everything.
Yes, and as you could tell, Dr. Fuller is like some crazed emperor.
He wouldn't be happy if he knew we were snooping around.
I know the risks. I don't fear him. Do you wish to know anything else?
I did see some dead bodies.
Dr. Fuller seems to be leaving a trail of corpses. Not to mention those strange machines, chains, and tools of all kind.
Yes. I've been telling you that Fuller uses his patients as guinea pigs.
What I saw was more akin to torture than medicine.
Do you even hear what you're saying? Dr. Fuller is highly respected.
It's the truth, Ethan. And I'll prove it to you. I'm listening, Mr. Pierce.
Good. You're listening. Bravo. Unfortunately, I can't say that. I may be under the lead. I don't know what it is myself because I'm just a dumb little blonde and he knows what he's talking about.
Francis Sanders. Do you know him?
Of course, he's a patient. Or was. I haven't seen him since Dr. Fuller had him transferred to the basement.
He knew Sarah Hawkins, and that's what killed him.
What? How did he die?
I'm not sure I can explain it.
By floating into a lamp.
Mr. Sanders died.
Sanders started screaming and convulsing.
Convulsing? That doesn't fit with his history.
Then his body got all crooked.
What in God's name? And you were alone with him?
He accused Sarah Hawkins of being the culprit.
Sarah Hawkins? Have I missed something here? This makes no sense. I don't see how it can help crack the Hawkins case.
You really think she's involved? How could she have murdered Mr. Sanders?
Francis Sanders mentioned Mrs. Hawkins just before dying. It's no coincidence.
You know, Francis Sanders was a well-known art collector. I guess you can still pay a visit to his wife, Irene Sanders.
An art collector, you say? That's probably how they met.
Oh,
If you
your
plan
skirt
on
just
having
did
dinner
a...
with Sanders' household. Please
Pop.
spare the widow the tale of her late husband's suffering.
I don't agree. She deserves the truth.
But that truth may be biased. We don't know the bottom of it.
Let's stay prudent.
You're right. Without a plausible explanation for what I saw, let's not jump to conclusions.
That seems wise indeed.
Very well. I'll go to see Francis's widow. Perhaps I'll find a link between her husband's death and Sarah Hawkins.
Don't end up in the hospital this time.
I'll do my best.
This will affect my destiny! That really reminds me of all of the Walking Dead. They will remember this. Okay, let's not touch the drink. Because I have a feeling that how the characters will perceive you in the end will have something to do with just how insane you may seem. And honestly, if you're drinking a lot and spouting insane things, you'll appear insane. Hence why I'm trying to keep a very hush-hush that there was flying involved. Imagine delivering that information. Your husband flew up into the air and met with the lamp. Francis wasn't known to know how to fly. He learned.
What can I do for you, sir?
Mrs. Sanders, I'm a private detective. We must talk about your husband and his ties to Sarah Hawkins. Can I come in?
You may. However, before we go any further, please know that my husband died yesterday.
That is precisely what brings me here.
Well, well, look who's here.
Oh, hello there. It's almost like your two eyes are not working together very
We met briefly.
well.
Time enough to iron out a few matters. The brave detective has a talent for sticking his nose into my business.
I bump into her every time I'm investigating someone's death.
It's a small island, detective. My island. It's better that it's you bumping into me.
You're investigating Francis' death. Why? Who hired you?
I spoke to Francis before he died. His story suggests a link to a case I'm working on.
Well, since this business has got nothing to do with me, I'll be in your husband's office, Irene. We'll carry on later.
Very well, Miss Baker. This way, Mr. Pierce. And do make yourself comfortable. It would seem that you have much to tell me.
What kind of outfit is that? I'm just looking at all of the green on her dress.
As to when you had the opportunity to talk to my husband.
Yesterday, I met him at the hospital. He spoke to me about Sarah Hawkins.
Oh, of course he spoke to you about her. That's all he talked about. Sarah Hawkins and her paintings. Please forgive my tone. The fact is that I have not been allowed to see him since he was interned. You, on the other hand, a perfect stranger, were able to see him and even talk with him the day he died. How was he? Were you present when he had this attack? What happened?
One of my cats really wants to play and it's really distracting. The other one's trying to clean his ass right in front of me. I'm really distracted by the green on her dress because it's making it look like it's a nightgown, but the fur color would suggest that it's not, so I'm just gonna call this a fashion disaster. You're taking it quite
I
well.
expected to find you more grief-stricken than this by the death of your husband.
I do not like the tone of your allusion, sir. I had long months to weep every tear in my body, and to accept, if not my fate, at least that of my husband. And so I'm sorry to disappoint you if you're expecting more hysteria and grieving widow in my voice. Rest assured, however, my anger is real. I need to understand. How could this happen? In a reputed institute? And right before your eyes?
I have not given you this information. How good is our eloquence? Not that good.
With all due respect, Mrs. Sanders, it was you who sent him to this asylum, not me.
How dare you? What was I supposed to do, detective? Upon seeing such a brilliant mind disintegrate in this way, waking with a start every night with him shrieking in horror, petrified before this accursed painting, unable to look away, until he managed to gouge his eyes out with his own hands.
Oh.
I should have listened to Dr. Fuller, let him intern him months ago. If I am to be condemned, it is because I did not act sooner.
I'm not here to condemn you, Mrs. Sanders.
That's all I've been doing.
Mr. Pierce, I would be grateful if you could tell me what you expect of me, and then leave.
Did you yeah. this would be a good choice.
Did your husband talk to you about Sarah Hawkins' visitor? A shambler, to use his precise terms.
Well, you can imagine that's all he talked about. It's exhibited at the center of the gallery. No better place for the painting that endowed him with the privilege of such a shameful and miserable end to his life.
Hold on. The Shambler is a painting by Sarah Hawkins.
Who else to paint such horrors? Take a look for yourself, if you feel so inclined.
It is my only lead at this stage. I suppose I have nothing to lose.
Then you have paid no heed. For my part, I refuse to set foot in that gallery again. But if you're so eager to see it...
Thank you, Mrs. Sanders. I won't be long.
Ah! We get to look at wonderful paintings. That's a lot better than dealing with a sad widow.
The day the Shambler came into the Sanders' lives.
A photograph of Sarah Hawkins next to Sanders. They must be close. That woman was wearing the exact same dress. Do you only have one dress?
Did she really care for him after all?
Dear Madam, I acknowledge receipt of the letter in which you demand the body of your deceased husband. I am sorry to inform you that I cannot agree to return his body to you. At the moment of his interment, you signed a discharge allowing me to dispose of his body as I see fit. Sorry about that. Small cat emergency. I extend my deepest condolences to you. Thomas Fuller. Wait. I can reconstruct scene? Right here? Oh, that's interesting.
A house of artists.
Either that or everybody loves a piano.
Frances Sanders and Sarah Hawkins were close. Friends, even? A house of artists. Sanders' accession register. He wrote beside the Shambler. Finally. What did Sarah Hawkins fear so much that she didn't want to sell the painting?
Didn't want to sell the painting.
He finally won. Was Sanders aware of his imminent doom?
His wife doesn't look very happy about it.
She despises Sarah Hawkins, but it's the painting she truly hates. Why? She first refused to sell the painting. How did that make her feel?
Oh, God! Oh.
The Shambler. I need to see it.
Good! Good. You'll get to see it. Cool. More medicine. More medicine, that's good. Oh, medicine we're at 2 now, and we're also at 2 on occultism. It's 6 CP, we have 5. So once we have 1 more CP, we can either bring up psychology or investigation. Oh!
Is this dagger part of Sanders' collection, or was he seeking to acquire it?
I was just pressing it in random order. Nice to know that the piano does that. Does anything else in your house have occultism? Because I need to learn about it. It is locked. I have no idea where their gallery is, to be fair. So I'm just gonna walk around your house blindly. I hope you have no objections to it. I'm just gonna test every door.
Let's see what this cylinder has to say once it's inserted in a phonograph.
Ooh. That's kinda cool. Stealing somebody else's family pictures. So awesome. she did not agree to literally anything else outside of me looking at the gallery, so I don't even know what the hell I'm doing.
Strange Amerindian pendant.
It probably is a dream catcher.
I could use one of those.
Everybody in this place seemed to be able to use some sleeping pills. Whale and the Cod, or Brief History of Darkwater by Irvin Greenmouth. It is focused on the past glory of Ireland, to the glory of the motherland.